my god, so I just found myself surrounded by all these deer. Thought they were gonna attack me. But they're peaceful, beautiful. There was a lot of them. There was probably at least 6 or 8 of them. Just all around me. Suddenly I was surrounded by deer. It's amazing. On the river here. Standing in like a drainage ditch. You probably can't even hear me. This is where I went to college, Ohio State University, the lawn in front of the Drake Union, which is the theater school. I get a BA in theater. In this spot I directed this play. I don't think this drainage ditch was here, but my final in directing class I staged outside on the river. It took place in Central Park about an actor. It was a Terrence McNally play. And Terrence McNally actually was one of the first people to die of fucking coronavirus in New York. He died like way back in March. So I wanted to do it outside, site specific. I've always loved that kind of stuff, you know. And the actors had balloons. They had these white balloons, and it's a funeral, so as they say their goodbye, they let the balloon go. And the last actress, she doesn't say anything the whole play. All the other actors talk. It's like a family thing. And then at the end, it's like his mom who sort of disowned him because, you know, he's gay. But at the end, she lets her balloon go. And the actress who did it was so great. She was like in tears. And she let the balloon go and it flew the other way, you know, behind her, overhead, like over the river. So she turned around and watched it go rather than facing the audience. And it was a pretty cool image, you know. The balloon flying away over the river. And that was the end of our academic year. That was the final of the directing class in June. So it was literally like the last thing that happened that year. We came outside, we sat on this lawn and we watched. I directed this 10-minute play. And it's a cool setting, you know. generator, whatever the fuck this thing is, combine. That's the Drake right there. That's the theater building. Where dreams are made. There's the horseshoe where they play football. So the spectacle is right there. I don't know, with theater school, I did 1 play a year, 2 years I was there, and I never even took a fucking acting class here. I took acting 280, which is like the general ed acting class. It's like almost like theater games. You know, I never took like one of the serious scene studies or anything. I auditioned twice and I got into plays. But I knew a lot of talented people because there were so many fucking kids. It's Ohio State. It's one of the biggest schools there is. And I knew people that were very talented and very castable who never got cast or callbacks for anything. And it's like they went on to kind of have careers and shit, and they still do. You know, and they never really got in any of the plays here. So I'm not really sure what it was. I don't know. It was cool. I mean, I took a mime class. One quarter I had, I think it was a spring quarter. No, it was winter. I had a movement class and then mime class right after that. So my morning, I think my movement class started at 9:30 or 10. That's when I discovered the kinesphere. Karen Mazingo, I think, was the professor. We explored our kinesphere a lot. And that's kind of what I'm still doing. You know, the body, that's such a huge part, but I don't know, I always felt like kind of an outcast, you know. I always felt like I didn't really know how to connect and like really be buddies with people. I was kind of still trying to be James Dean and being narcissistic and kind of like, I don't know, there was competition, you know, like, I don't know, I always felt kind of awkward doing acting stuff. Because I didn't have proper training. I mean, this is a state school. I've been thinking about that a lot. Like, what does that mean? I saw somebody, you know, in their dating profile or something. They don't date people from state schools. So it's kind of like a general education. It's almost like this vague education, you know. It's not like a BFA conservatory or some shit where you are, you know, like these fucking training centers in England and Australia and shit. It's like they're pretty strict, you know. They got their actors doing voice classes and fucking stage combat and you know, those were all electives here. You know, you kind of, but I ended up having to take, you know, like costuming and shit. I took more costuming classes and I was horrible at it. I sewed these like fucking terrible little cowboy shorts or whatever. And then lighting, I did the lighting grid. I think I learned a lot about the writing classes. I took a fucking screenwriting class and a playwriting class. And they were the exact same class. It was all fucking Aristotle bullshit, you know. Inciting incident, first act, second act, rising action, whatever, climax. Just horseshit. It's all bullshit. Everything they teach you in this fucking school is just bullshit. Objectives, you know, all of it. Stanislavski method. What do you want? What does your character want? What a crock of shit. You know, what do I want right now? What's my objective in this scene right now in my life, you know? What's my playable action? What am I, you know, like, I'm trying to convince you, I'm trying to, what, admonish you, I'm trying to, okay, I just don't think life works like that. That's always a problem I had with acting, and, like, I don't know, they don't, it's more interesting to start with, like, character things, maybe, you know, like walk, or what the costume is, the way they talk, you know, backstory. That to me is more interesting, you know, like that's something I can dig my teeth into. Whereas fucking, you know, I read all these David Mamet, but oh my god, they're horrible. Truth and Common Sense for the Actor. Don't ever read any of David Mamet's books about how to do it, because he's just a liar, you know. It's like, it's all about what does the audience want to see next.
backwards and forwards. You have to put all these forwards in it so the audience wants to know what happens next. It's all about plot. It's all about, action. Show don't tell. It's just bullshit. And I'm free now. I'm avant-garde. I don't know if that was. I think there was avant-garde shit going on. Like I remember hearing a lot of some people I knew went on to do fucking Sleep No More. I know a bunch of people who went on to do Sleep No More, which is awesome because they were more kind of avant-garde. One of the MFAs mentioned Meredith Monk, which I had no idea who that was at the time, but I saw them at Poetry Project last year. I filmed it. And the play, I was in this playwriting class, and the play I ended up writing was just like a sitcom, basically. It was sort of an Arrested Development ripoff. I was really trying hard to do like some kind of Wes Anderson, Royal Tenenbaums meets Arrested Development, whatever thing. And it was a stage play. But it was like satirizing religion. It was all about religion, and it was sort of like, I don't know, preoccupied with maybe just everything around, class issues I saw. It was during George Bush era, the very end of that. So I wrote this play, and the MFA who directed it said, I don't mean this like in an offensive way, but it's kind of like a sitcom, and I was like, yeah. And the fucking playwriting teacher loved it. He's like, this is how you'll make money, write like this, write these sitcom scripts. And it was tight. It was very tightly structured. The jokes, the punchlines, the tags, the characterization. That they did an excellent version of it, I must say. The cast was great. The fucking, it was inventive. It was beautiful. And they threw it together fast. Way better than I could have done, definitely. And the audience loved it. My friend Tommy came and saw it. And I just felt so ashamed that I had written it, because it was just like, it's just like this sitcom thing. I don't know. You want to do a 10-minute play. I wanted to probably do something a little bit more conversational, but I had no confidence in doing things like that at the time, I hadn't seen My Dinner with Andre. And that was just, I had to go to New York and connect with my friends at ETW, Experimental Theater Wing, and kind of be in that environment. And see that there's other ways, it doesn't have to be the streamlined kind of Hollywood product-driven climax orgasm, explosion orgy or something.